that doesn't move, something like that. So the chair will be important. The rest are somewhat optional. Chair, strap, wall. I want to share with you just one announcement from the Institute, and then we will get going. Very exciting. Join us this Wednesday, March 4th, 8 o'clock Eastern, for our next free book talk featuring Rabbi Angela Buchdahl of Central Synagogue in conversation with our own IJS president and CEO, Josh Fagelson. Rabbi Buchdahl is going to talk about her book. Perhaps you've seen it, read it already, Heart of a Stranger, and she and Josh will reflect on the spiritual practices and ethical commitments that shape a life of welcoming and belonging. So check that out. Link is here this Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, March 4th. What a wonderful opportunity. Rabbi Buchdahl was part of one of the clergy leadership programs, I'm not sure which cohort, and is an active member of our Chevraya, our group of clergy and Jewish leaders and Jewish educators. So please join us if you're able. Okay, my friends, we are going to get started. Again, if you're just hopping on, props for today, a chair, a strap, and a little piece of wall. Ooh. Okie doke. Let's see. There we go. All right, I'd like to start actually with teaching today. We don't usually do that, and then we will go into movement. But I think setting us up with the teaching will help. So tonight is Purim, tonight and tomorrow. Today is the 13th of Adar, and Purim is the 14th of Adar. And I'm really glad that we are all here together, given the events of the weekend and ongoing war. Just want to say this all, I'm sure, lands for each of us in our nervous system. And you may be working with many emotions and holding a lot right now. And I just want to acknowledge that and let us acknowledge that it's probably within your personal space. And it's so good that we're here together. And to just lead with prayers for the safety of all in the region, for any of you who have friends and family in Israel and Palestine, friends from Iran, with family there, Lebanon, anywhere in the region, we pray for their safety. So Purim, let's talk about Purim. Purim calls us to work on many traits within ourselves, and I want to highlight a few of them, and a way we can think of this month of Adar. So as I mentioned last week, as we begin, possibly the week before, this beautiful phrase, Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha, whoever enters the month of Adar increases in happiness as we celebrate this month of Purim. So Simcha is built into the practice of Adar, and Simcha is a practice. Joy is a practice. We have the opportunity to work on joy and the physical state that supports joy. And I think that our practice of grounding ourselves in yoga and coming back and back and back to the mat is a practice of raising Simcha. Another quality, ometz or ometz lev, courage. Purim tells us that Amalek, that Hamans will continue to appear, and that we will resist injustice where we see it. We can cultivate the bravery of Esther. We can cultivate the bravery of our inner Esther to stand up to injustice, despite dangers, despite fears. So we can grow our courage, our ometz lev. Esther was not so brave in the beginning. And we were not so brave or strong in the beginning. And our yoga practice really helps us to become a little more brave, a little more courageous, and trying on new ways of moving and of being stronger within our bodies. And when we do that within the body, then we can take it out of the body, off the mat, into the world. Maybe we learn to be courageous in our balance, in our strength. Next, the name Esther, Estelle, comes from the verb to hide or to conceal, the hastir. And the verb for the word Megillah is legalot, to reveal. So Purim is about what's hidden and what is concealed and revealed. What's concealed and what's revealed. In the story of the Megillah, there's no mention of God. God is concealed, but God is channeled and revealed through the courage of Esther and Mordecai, revealed through them. And so also in our practice, we are able to reveal very subtly and slowly and practice by practice aspects of ourselves, and little tiny nuances in our body go from concealment to revealment, from the state of Esther, le hastir, hidden, concealed, to the state of galui, of revealed, le galot, Megillah. Purim is about the masks related to the conceal and reveal, masks that we put on, right? Change of identities and shifts, and how we hide ourselves, hide our identity through a mask. And Purim is an orchestrated chaos. We have costumes, we have drink, everything is upside down, everything is hafuch. And so I will take today's practice a little bit from that sense of the upside downness of Purim and the cultivation of these qualities that I mentioned. We're going to look at poses today on two planes, upside down, so to speak, on the floor, lying down, and then look at the same poses, apply them standing up, and see how are they different, right? Kind of like concealed, revealed, mask on and off. I want to also go over the 4 mitzvot of Purim before we begin. The first is to hear the reading of the Megillah, and of course it has its own distinctive trope, its own distinctive cantillation. We have this matanot la'evyonim, sending aid wherever it is needed. Mishloach manot, sending gifts to our neighbors, the capacity for generosity. And Seudat Purim, a ritual meal, that Purim should have bodily pleasure. And the Zohar says that Purim counteracts the bodily austerity of Yom Kippur, is balanced with the bodily pleasure of Purim. So let's practice. I want to just mention to you, as I always do, please take everything at your own pace and go as you need and do as you need. And in that spirit, I want to let you know that just a couple of hours ago, I strained or pulled something in my back, like sort of in my hip a little bit. And so if you see me being slow or doing some things in my own way, you don't need to follow me there. I'm just taking care of myself as a way of modeling that you can take care of yourselves. And you don't need to worry about me. If I were really bad off, I wouldn't teach today. But just to say, just to give you a little bit of heads up on that. Okay, friends, let's see, good. That out of the way. Let's come on to your back, and you might lie in such a way that you can place your feet onto a wall, or in my case here onto a sofa, so that you can press in and have something to meet here, what we call proprioception. We can feel ourselves in space here through the wall. So you might come down, bend your knees, and then press the wall away. And just find the 4 corners of your feet at the wall. Take your hands for a moment to your hip points. And you can even just give a little bit of weight to the pelvis. Let the elbows be easy on the outer shoulders. And let everything be heavy to the floor, back of the head. And then if you'd like, Inhale your arms to the ceiling and take them above your head with the palms to the floor. As much as your shoulders will allow, and you can take your arms as wide as you need for your shoulders. And pressing and continuing to press into the wall, extend the fingertips away from you, lengthen the body, make yourself long. Feel the sides of the waist lengthen and the abdomen space perhaps hollow a bit. Let yourself be supported by the floor. Really allow everything to just be heavy to the floor. And then from here, bring the arms back to your sides, mountain pose. And take your right knee, hug it in toward the chest. You can either hold on to the shin or to the thigh behind the knee. And give your knee a hug while pressing your left foot to the wall. Let the back of the pelvis be heavy and let the back of the pelvis be even. See that the right hip does not hike up. You want to feel that evenness across the pelvis. That's going to be important for where we're going with this. Take your strap around your right foot and send it up to the ceiling. Take a hamstring stretch. And again, most important feature here is even across the pelvis and continuing to press the left foot to the wall, keeping contact. And if you don't have a wall or surface, that's fine too. Flex through the left foot and just feel the animation of the sole of the foot. Easy in the elbows and the shoulders. The cultivation of ease is the cultivation of simcha, of joy. They're related. Joy always includes buoyancy and ease, never tension. Becoming alive to sensation in the back of the leg, hamstrings, calf, Achilles. And then take both sides of the strap into your right hand. Balance your left arm out to the side while you take your right leg out to the right. The leg can be straight. If you want to have a bend in the knee, that's okay too. External rotation of the right upper thigh. That helps with that lengthening of the right side of the hip, the right sitting bone. And then come back up through center. Switch sides with the strap, switch arms with the strap. Take the right arm out to the right at shoulder height, the T, and draw the right leg over to the left. Could be a little bit, or it could be a lot, taking a whole twist across the body. You decide. Whatever you do, whatever you choose, do it with ease. Come on back up to center. Point and flex through the right foot. Release the strap. Take circles with the foot one direction and then the other direction. Squeeze the toes and then spread the toes a couple of times. And then shake out that right leg. And bring the foot back to the floor. Okay, bend both knees, take the soles of the feet to the floor. We're gonna take figure 4, right over left. If you're at the wall, you're going to take the left foot up at the wall. So you have to adjust yourself and see how far you want to be away from the wall. If you're further from the wall, you'll get a little less in the hip and buttock. If you're closer to the wall, you'll get a little more. So I'm modeling without the wall, but it's great if you can have the wall, then you don't need your hands, and it's a beautiful passive figure 4. So you can arrange yourself for that. So either way, with the wall, or as I'm doing freestanding here, and then using your arms threaded behind your left thigh. Take figure 4. Stay as long as you want. When you're ready, release. If you're at the wall, you'll take a squat at the wall. So both feet onto the wall. And just an easeful squat so that the hip flexion can just be nice and easy, the crease in the hips. If you're not at the wall, give your knees a hug and just give it a little rock side to side. So there's even omets lev, there's even bravery when we're just here on the floor, because the bravery is about surrender and trust. Really one of the hardest skills to cultivate in our yoga practice and in life. Come back to mountain pose on the wall, both feet to the wall. Inhale the arms up and overhead, find that long noodle stretch, pressing the feet away as you press the fingertips away. Just find some ease, even as you find length and stretch. Inhale and lengthen. And then exhale, draw the left knee toward you. And now we're gonna take all of this on the other side, hugging the left knee in, and the right foot is really pressing to the wall. So you're either holding onto the shin or behind the knee to the back of the thigh, hugging the left knee in. And again, see that left hip, it's very subtle, very sneaky, is not hiking up. It really often wants to hike up, but we want to really keep that pelvis even. We want to find in our yoga practice that balance of being a very clear witness to what's happening in the body, what's going on, but not being tight about it or overly vigilant or judgmental, right? We just want to cultivate that easy, observant witness. And then taking your strap around your left foot and bringing it up toward the ceiling. Extending through the left leg as you press through the right leg. And just opening to the sensation that you feel in the back of the left leg, hamstring, calf, Achilles. And then holding both sides of the strap into your left hand, take the left leg out to the left. Right leg continues to ground. Right thigh, right hip. You can take your hand to the thigh or to the hip point if you like. And then bring that left leg up through center. Switch hands with the strap. Take your left arm out to the left, shoulder height, in a T here. And then take your left leg over to the right, either just a little bit or coming over into a twist. You decide. And then come on up, back up, release the strap, point and flex through that left foot. And then make circles, one direction, opening the ankle. Other direction. Squeeze the toes and spread the toes. And then give it a shake out. Put the strap to the side. And now we'll take that figure four, crossing left over right. And again, right foot on the wall if you've got the wall. And just find that just right spot. Could be different on the second side. Just right spot on the wall where you can just passively find the right amount of sensation for the left hip, buttock. When you're ready, release the legs, either take a squat on the wall or take a hug in toward the chest. And then lastly, we'll bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. Little cobbler pose, lying down. This should not bring any, you don't want to bring any tension to the low back. Just let it be easy. If you'd like to support the outer knees or thighs with blocks, you can do that. We won't be here for very long. This is just to let the knees come down, just to let the groins have a little bit of stretch. And then when you're ready, let's roll it to the side. And make your way to standing in any way that you would like. And grab your chair. Place it in front of you. And the first thing we're going to do is feet together, or feet hip width apart. Forward fold to the chair, can be hands to the chair, forearms to the chair, or head to the chair. See what works for you. Engage the quads and lift the kneecaps. Draw the thighs back. Be here and breathe. Roll the thighs in slightly inward so that you deepen the length of the groins. Draw the pubic bone backward into length. Lengthening the abdomen and hollowing. And then when you're ready, come on up. Place your chair to the right side. So the first thing we're going to do is just invite some ease in the groins, right in the top of the thigh, the hip here. And this is a tree pose variation that's just very gentle, very easy, where we've got the left leg as the standing leg here, and we're going to take our right foot up to the chair. So remember what I was talking about keeping the pelvis even. You can even take your hands to your hip points here. See that the pelvis is even. And see if you can soften in the back of the rib cage and make length between the rib cage, bottom of the rib cage, and the top of the pelvis. Just bringing ease. What do I mean by that? Lots of us tend toward a lordotic situation. We sort of press the back of the rib cage forward and we lose length at the base of the rib cage and just below, right? So we kind of are pressing forward, and what I'm suggesting is draw into back in that area, make a little more surface area and softening. Then we're going to take this to the other side and do the very same thing. We're going to build from here, don't worry. If it feels a little slow, if you're in that bucket today, just take the other side. The toes of the standing leg are facing forward, as long as that's comfortable for you, right? Parallel, as it were, toes forward. And then just placing the left foot onto the chair and seeing that the hips are even. Find that ease. And as I said, can you soften at the base of the rib cage and draw back slightly? Length and ease in the low back, in the mid to low back. Okay, and then bring the chair back in front of you. We'll start with the right foot. So just like we were lying on our back and taking the leg up towards the ceiling, now we do it standing with a little bit of support. So maybe you're going to take the right leg to the chair, or maybe to the chair seat, or maybe you're going to take the right leg to the back of the chair. And you have 90 degrees and the standing leg. Maybe this is even too much and you're just going to take the right leg and balance it on a block or a footstool, something like that. You can take the hands to the hips just to feel that balance of the evening of the hips. Be here and breathe. And just like we did with the standing foot against the wall, stamp that standing foot down. So now here we are, hafuch, turned upside down, or turned right side up, but upside down from where we started. And then we'll take the other side. Extending the left leg. So maybe it's to the chair, maybe it's just low on a block or a footstool. maybe it's up to the back of the chair 90 degrees. This all depends on your personal hamstrings. If you need balance while you're standing on one leg, I trust that you're finding a balance point. Maybe you have a hand against the wall. That's great. Support yourself as needed. Again, find that length for the mid-low back, drawing the rib cage perhaps a little into softening by softening the front ribs back. And then release. Okay, take the chair to the right side, to your right side. The left leg is your standing leg. And now, just like we took the leg out to the side while we were on the floor, we're going to take the leg out to the side while standing. So again, it might be just on a block or a footstool. It might be on the chair here, or it might be on the back of the chair here. So you decide, hip points even. I'm going to model it for you right here. So what I'm really teaching my nervous system is quiet and ease in a balance pose. And then I can gradually make it more increase the level of challenge. Now, while I'm here, which this for me is relatively simple, not very challenging, but I'm already noticing that my standing leg is, I'm sinking into it, it's coming onto the side, right? So I can really suck in here and lift up. Because if I don't have it here in this like low degree of difficulty, then I'm gonna build from here to more challenging poses as I go through my yoga curriculum, and I'm gonna build on a faulty foundation. We never want that, right? So we have the chance to notice, can really draw in on that standing hip. Some teachers say suck in toward the greater trochanter in toward the midline. That works for you. And then release. And we'll take the other side. So right leg, standing leg, left leg out to the side, little, or footstool or block right on the chair, chair seat, or top of the chair. So you decide where it is today. And again, notice that sort of tendency most of us have to sink into that standing leg. Now I'm exaggerating, but that feeling of just sucking in, evening out the pelvis here. And again, a softening through the rib cage. Just be here, breathe, soft gazing point. And then when you're ready, release, just give it a little shake out. Maybe a little side to side with the hips or circles with the hips. Really just wanting to find ease through the hips in this practice today. Now we're going to move on to tree pose. And I just want to suggest, if you don't feel like balancing in a full tree pose today, or if it's not available to you, it's not a problem. Go back to this version of tree pose with the foot to the chair, okay? So, standing on the left leg, turning out with the right from the hip, just ease, ease, ease. It's either kickstanded or maybe it's at the calf. Maybe it's up here towards the groin, or maybe it's just right here on the chair. So find your tree pose, soft gaze, omets lev, courage. Easy breath coming and going. If you fall out of balance, no problem, just come right on back in. And then release and take the other side. It can be the same, it can look the same or it might look different. So kickstand, ankle, calf, right? Or maybe chair here as I'm doing. And really bringing that attention to the standing leg and the standing hip to draw in. Arms can be in any way you wish, any position that you prefer. Palms to the chest or arms extended overhead, arms wide. Main thing we're going for here is that the pelvis, evenness of the pelvis. When you are ready, release. We will take warrior two. So now, hopefully we can just really enjoy the benefits of all that work we did from the external rotation of the upper thigh, right? All of this that we just did so beautifully on the floor and standing. Let's let it really blossom, flower in warrior two. So we'll take it first to the right. Left toes turning in, right toes turning out. Find your stance. Inhale the arm shoulder height, fingers extended, palms facing down. Exhale, bend through that right knee. Come into the pose. And you'll see a little, a lot. You don't go past 90 degrees, and we don't want that front knee to come past the ankle. A few breaths, and when you're ready, come on up. Turn the feet. Inhale the arms. Exhale. Bend through that left knee. Warrior two. When you're ready, come on up. The feet might come even a little wider, toes pointing forward or toes pointing in, but both feet in the same direction. We'll take wide leg forward fold. So if you'd like to have support of the chair in front of you or blocks, you can go ahead and place that. Stamp the feet down, legs are straight, hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades, squeeze them back, squeeze them together, draw the elbows back. Exhale, fold forward from the crease of the hips and place the hands. Yogi's choice here. You might stay in flat back and length, or you might fold down with the crown of the head moving toward the floor. You decide. Just working your way into the pose. This is our final pose today, in a way that really honors the work that you've done already for the hamstrings and for the hips, to really make this luxurious, to enjoy it. And when you are ready, make your way out. Inhaling and lifting up. And once you get back up, just take a moment, feet hip width apart. Take a hand to the belly and a hand to the chest. And allow your hands on your own body to be a grounding force to the nervous system. You can soften the gaze or close the eyes. And just notice how you feel. Observe. Be a gentle witness of your own experience. And then when you're ready, you can release your hands and make your way to the floor for Shavasana, final resting. I'm not going to come all the way down myself, but I'll just guide you coming onto the floor, onto your back. And perhaps it's lower legs to the chair for some nice release for your lower back. Or perhaps it's lying fully flat. Traditional Shavasana, legs long, arms by your sides, tucking your shoulder blades under you. Or perhaps it's constructive rest, knees bent, soles of the feet to the floor. We'll take a couple minutes for quiet integration. If you have more time to allow yourself more quiet, more rest and integration, feel free to just turn off the video and take your own time with completing your practice. If you're moving back into your day, take a deep in-breath and a sigh exhale. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Give yourself a nice yawn, sigh, stretch. As the body begins to move again, and take all the time you need to come back to a comfortable seat. Allow your gaze to be soft or your eyes to close. Take a hand to your heart space. And just a review of the qualities that we discussed today in this week of Purim. Simcha. Mi shenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. Those who enter the month of Adar increase in happiness. So practicing simcha. The courage of Esther, Ometz Lev, cultivating courage. And the ability to look for what is concealed and what is possible to reveal through our practice and through our life. Le'hastir legalot. Thank yourself for practicing today. As you're ready, you can release your hand and open your eyes, come back to the room. Thank you all for practicing. Chag Purim Sameach, wishing you a good Purim holiday. And we're here for Q&A. I'm just gonna come back to my computer, move, and but in the meantime, remember that Rachel placed into the chat a couple of important things. Rabbi Angela Buchdahl with Rabbi Josh Fagelson in conversation this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Please register and come if you can. And also, what's the also? Oh, also, yoga YouTube playlist. Access anytime you want on your own time our practices. They're all there. So can really enjoy and continue to learn from them.